Welcome to the jungle. Last episode, we left off of turn 65 after we took Scalaria's capital. But I went back here to turn 63 because there's a couple of more points I wanted to show about that interesting uh, capital storm that we had. And turn 63 is the turn that we gave the orders to storm. And I was wondering why I didn't have Oaken Army on that battle because I have it scripted here. And it's normally not good to have all of these nature spells that you want. Relief in particular was key there because he did Rigor Mortis. And of course, Harmony Regeneration is great. Serpent's Blessing was more to protect against Fall Vapors. But Oaken Army didn't go off. And I was wondering if I didn't put enough gems and I left it last because I didn't want to have the fire malice because it does susceptibility to fire 5. But probably my reasoning was that with all this off script casting I have, they're gonna spam bark skin anyway, so we might as well have the protection buff in the entire army. So let's see how many gems it would take. 3 plus 2, 5. 5 plus 1, 6. 6 plus 3, 9. Did he have 9 gems? Yeah, he did have 9 gems. He even had 2 more because this is a temporary gem generator for nature. So he had 11 gems and he didn't cast it. Now we are at turn 64, the turn of the capital storm, and we're gonna find him and we're gonna see what happened. Okay, combat round 9. He put up relief. F1, C. Let's find him. Here he is. Oaken Army costs 3. He only has 2 left. But why? He had 11 total. This is because his script, when he starts rising fatigue, he uses 1 extra gem, I think. So this is why it didn't left off. It didn't go off. This is why when you do a lot of expensive spells like that in sequence, you need to give 1 extra gem per spell. I think that's the reason. Sometimes they don't cast if they're over fatigue, but it's still 46. And you might think I had too many communion slaves that I should have had more masters, but this is a communal slave. Yes, he's already at 130. We don't want him taking damage. They regenerate, but we don't want to risk it. And plus, there's rigor mortis in play. Now, this guy doesn't have any boosters, and he's not empowered. So how come he has Astral 2, Nature 3? That's another thing I wanted to show. But I think for that we have to go back to turn 63. So we're back at turn 63. I want to show these 2 guys here. So one of my Wight Mages, we gave him a crossbow, and he's doing the big air stuff. He joins the communion as master, and then he does Featherweight Army to protect. Featherweight Army to really protect from earthquakes should be 1, but he wasn't using it, and so I took the risk there. Storm, Arrow Fan, and Thunder Fan doesn't have any gems, but he does have enough temporary gem generators, 6 in total. And his last order is fire. Why? Because I do want him to join the communion. Otherwise, he wouldn't reach the paths, and he even if he reached, he would fatigue himself out right here on the on Featherweight Army. The other ones are 100. But I didn't want him to stay in the communion and start spamming air stuff, which would cause more fatigue on the slaves. Um, this guy, the first spell I just cast anything because he doesn't have astropath, so he's joining the communion as master automatically via sky metal matrix that we were able to craft due to the Iron Order. And now that he joins, the first thing he does is give reinvigoration to the slaves because this is a self buff. It affects the caster. And then he does Strength of Gaia. The slaves don't have these paths, but they do get they do get the extra nature magic. So they'll take less fatigue from the nature spells. And then Temper Flash to protect the slaves. And then he does Howl. So it's a spell that doesn't need to be on our Shaman Communion Master. And he has a crossbow, and he fires too. I don't want him spamming uh, earth spells and causing extra fatigue to the communion. So the slaves that were Astro 1, Nature 1 got one extra path in each due to Power of the Spheres. Another Master was casting, and the extra nature from 2 to 3 due to Strength of Gaia. Turn 65. We have empowered one of our Iron Order mages in blood. We want to start getting the other Earth booster that's in Blood Earth. It also gives a temporary Earth gem. And so I picked Fire Random to do this because there's some cross paths that are interesting there too. And since we're doing this and he's old, we are forging him Boots of the Youth so he gets old slower. Some more forging. We are getting Draugr. Draugr is a national summon. It's an undead that has a wounded shape and a little bit more protection, and but he does provide fear, and I wanna add more fear auras to our army, our armies. Now we ended this war. Sceleria is defeated. And we have this situation here with two big players on our borders, and we have good relations with Calum. And we wouldn't want to expand to Calum anyway. We will make like a small line here and just leave us more exposed. I don't think it's a good idea. We are not super ahead that I think we can just scale. We need to catch up to Asphodel and Machaka. So I need to pick a target. And on the one hand, you might think that Asphodel, he kind of manipulated me into killing his enemy, which might be true, but also it was a good war target for me. So it can be the case where it was what he wanted, it was what I wanted, and not really a one-sided affair. Machaka, we have been very friendly. We're grateful that he brokered a peace because Asphodel wanted to attack us. Um, so we're talking to both. And to Machaka, I'm saying, what are you going to do? Are you just going to sit there scale? Because Asphodel is getting scary. He's getting more troops. And then he says he's not concerned and is just very evasive. Uh, in the end, he says that something like this. I'm just summarizing, and that's how I remember it. Maybe that's how I'm choosing to remember it, but that's how I'm recording for posterity anyway. Uh, he says that he's too strong, and that his throne rush is inevitable, and that the way things should play out is that he should fight Shinoyama and Naba, and I should team up with Caleb against Asphodel. I said, well, that doesn't make any sense because since you're stronger, and Asphodel is a problem for the whole game, for all the nations, due to their pop kill and their mechanics, you should be the one fighting them because people will consider that's your responsibility because you're stronger. And his argument was something along the lines that I will gain more by attacking Asphodel to defend better from him when his throne rush eventually happens and inexorably happens. But I wasn't really convinced by that. Didn't make any threats, but let that go. So with this information, I asked Asphodel. I said, "Okay, I need to go to war with either you or Machaka. If I attack Machaka, are you going to attack me?" And that's not a promise he can make forever in the game because it is an FFA. So eventually we'll go to war. But in general terms, he said, yeah, if you fight Machaka, I'll leave you alone. Um, Another thing I did is I was talking to Calum and Shinoyama. With Ubar wasn't responding to my messages very much, so I kind of left him alone. And I was saying, look, we are the weaker here between having these two powers ahead of us. We need to form like a defensive pact. If Asphodel attacks one of us, we all jump in because the worst thing that can happen is Asphodel eats us one by one and nobody does anything, and they're going to win the game. And they kind of agreed. I also said at the same time we need to do the same thing with Machaka because even though Machaka doesn't have the annoying mechanics as Asphodel, and he's not attacking Asphodel, he can basically do the same thing, being so strong. And I was still deciding which one I was going to attack, but I made this pact, and then Machaka decided to attack Shinoyama. So when he decided to attack Shinoyama, and then I decided to end my non-aggression pact with him. Turn 66. This turn we got the items we bought from the fire water crosspath from Shinoyama. We got blood magic 8. Now we can summon vampire lords. Now we can actually start scaling in blood. And there's a dire portent. Machaka put up a global enchantment. And he had Mother Oak. It took his own Mother Oak, which is good. And what he put is Eternal Twilight. All provinces get +1 magic scales. All battle have the Twilight effect. Lands that are hostile or outside dominion get minus income, minus resources. Hostile units risk getting tricked and die. This risk is lowered in densely populated provinces. So I did not appreciate this. Um, it's not because he's going to scale even more. I already know he's scaling, but it kind of hurt us. And we can see here the message. Our units have been tricked by the reality distorting effects. 14 units had wandered off and died. It's not a lot. We have a lot of units. Uh, we have 600, almost 700 here. But we didn't appreciate that, so we're joining with the other players to dispel it. And also that made me even more prone to attack him. Turn 67. Nobody liked that global enchantment from Machaka, so we got the contribution to dispel right away. Should be dispelling this turn. We got our first Vampire Lord, which is great. Now the Vampire can summon more Vampire Lords and so forth. They summon their own patrol shaft just by existing. Lovely. We are taking this opportunity where we're not at war for a few turns to do a lot of site searching on the lands we conquered. We could have just site searched the paths that he doesn't have, hoping that he did the site searching, but it would be too hard to keep track of that. And also, yeah, we're losing units every turn, 7 units now. And yeah, now we got a necromancer. I think that was a mercenary and a scout. So not cool. Yeah, 125 mercenary units of commander left. That's due to the global. Now here, this province turned into a plains due to the change from Mother Oak. Although I don't understand why it's at 5. Oh, it's the site. Yeah, because I only have growth 1. And also, this is an interesting point, digression here. So I had growth 1 in my build. Asphodel put up Well of Misery. Well of Misery gave me growth 3, which is the best growth, because growth 5 starts doing the terrain change. And I think Machaka and Shinoyama have more growth scales. And growth scales, if you put it in a spreadsheet, they'll give you more income at the end of the game. But most games are going to have Wall of Misery, so I think I made the right choice with growth 1 there. In any case, ending that discussion, this had turned into plains. So I said, okay, now this has a lot of income because it has the site, it's plains now. Not a lot of population, but yeah, I wanted another fortress here. Also will help me defend against Asphodel. As soon as I started building it, I lost population and I lost some income because forests have a lower income. At least the population that I lost, I got I got them in the lake here. Now the people learn to breathe in the water, I guess. Turn 68. We cast the spell. We successfully dispelled the Eternal Twilight. We got some extra air gems we didn't get last turn from Asphodel, but we already considered them in our cast. We split this equally between the other players. Um, we're doing Karen reanimation to use the corpses and generate solace for patrol shaft because we're starting a new blood hunting province here. Now we already had this one. We expanded here too. You could put them all in one province, but I want to keep the unrest low, and I can generate a lot of free undead shaft to patrol. And also, I'm wasting a lot of time moving my random zots from here to here. So this has a decent population. I wanna start blood hunting here right away. And he did get an assassination attempt, but his Zod friends took care of the peasants. They shouldn't complain. This is for the good of the empire. Also, we got a Bogus is attacking again. This time, Kalem. We got a barbarian horde. But we had one of our foreign recruit Lab and Temple provinces without a fort, and the mages that I've been recruiting here were able to help. Even though Bone Tribe is not very good, we do have Evocation 7, maybe 8 by now. And yeah, I strike. Boom. So these mages, even unscripted, are like artillery pieces now, as we saw in the Sceleria battle. So there you go, just one unscripted wolf clan killed 15 barbarians with Ice Strike. And they were 70, we just had 49 bad PD. Um, you probably want to remember where you're foreign recruiting outside forts every turn and put them on retreat. But maybe not in this case, it was good first. Did I mention that we're using one of our mercs here to cast Carrion Reanimation? No, Arouse Hunger, that generates ghouls. Ghouls are better than that. There's a lot of corpses here and they can get stronger, and I probably want them to fight because they're much better than Solus and Long Dead. But since there was some unrest here, I put them here first to help patrolling, and as I generate more chaff, I'll move them to the front lines. We are crafting blood boosters, more sanguine dowsing rods for our new blood mages. Now we are crafting some rings of fire because now we're going to fight a fire nation. And I want my important mages to have a lot of fire resist. Um, this is an astral booster. Thanks to our iron order, we are able to craft the staff of the one god. Yeah, there he is with our empowered lizard shaman here. Forge staff of the one god. Now it doesn't need to be the empowered one, but in any case, generates 3 gems. It's from Lucid's mod. Very cool. A little bit expensive. Hopefully I save gems in the long term. Turn 69. About the diplomatic situation, the defensive pact with Caleb and Shinoyama, and me choosing between Asphodel and Machaka, and Asphodel saying he wouldn't attack me if I attack Machaka, and Machaka saying he doesn't want to attack Asphodel. And of course, me keeping my word in the defensive pact as soon as Machaka declared war on Shinoyama. We can roleplay that this was discussed by the 3 clans, and this was probably their second council discussing who to attack. The first time it was between Sceleria and Machaka and Asphodel, sorry. And the Crow clan that has death paths was ambivalent. The Wolf clan that has water paths thought they were unnatural and wanted to destroy both. And maybe the Bear clan tipped the scales because he has nature magic and he likes that at least these undeads are made of vines. On the second council, though, the clan saw the fire magic and the glamour magic from Machaka as a threat to the world. And although Asphodel was still considered unnatural, and the Crow clan are a little bit jealous of their powers over death, we are scaling towards getting better than them at blood. I summoned Tree Lord here. He has Ivy Lord 3, and I'm using him to awaken Vine Ogres. It was nice to have those trolls going ahead to take Archer Fire. We use them for raiding. They attract evocations because they have a lot of HP. So I'm hoping to save some money using using Vine Ogres with the Ivy Lord trait and getting some troops like that. They don't regenerate, but they can be used for that purpose. And since they have low magic resistance and a lot of HP, you can make them into Soul Vortex Communion batteries. Hopefully, we'll see some of that later in the game. On forging, we're getting another blood booster, very expensive, but we need it to be able to continue scaling. Sanguine dowsing rods for each blood hunter. Dragon helmets, in addition to the rings of fire resistance. We want this on our important mages because some of them are going to use the head slot for something, and some of them are going to use the two miscellaneous slots for important things. So it's nice that the dragon helmet has less fire resist than the ring, but if can't use the ring, he's gonna gain a little bit of fire resistance and the head protection. I'm expecting to siege his forts down, and I don't want to lose any more mages to random archer fire. More dwarven hammer to craft more. Turn 70. This turn, there's a dire portent and Shinoyama cast Gale-Gate, air gem generator. The problem with this is it gives hurricanes everywhere, and I don't like that. I told Shinoyama this is benefiting Asphodel because he loses population anyway, but it's killing our population and we need it. But there was a free slot, he took it. But we do have Arcane Nexus now. And I'm trying to save up, but it's tough. I really like spending gems, summoning mages, troops, and forging. And we have this big border with Machaka. They are bigger than us, and we want to attack from everywhere. Forging, more boosters, more Bright Mail Hallberg that I like from mages. Amulet of the Dead. I gained this at first from Sceleria, but I like the idea to generate patrolling shaft for my blood hunting provinces, and now I have three of them. We are getting our. See, we need the expensive blood boosters to be able to forge the other Earth booster. Turn 71. This turn, we finally got the random for forging Staff of the Elements and the Rune Smasher. So we should be forging, yeah, we are forging a Shambler skin armor to get him out of the water, put him at the throne of our Artificer, and he can start crafting for us. We have also taken our Vampire Lord here and empowered him in nature. It is expensive, but what this will allow us to do is to use them to cast Purify Blood, which gives poison resistance. This takes some of the pressure out of our nature mages that have a lot of important spells to cast. And he can join the communion and do well, he doesn't have astral pass, but we can give him a sky metal matrix. And he can do reinvigoration to clear some of the fatigue on the slaves. He can give them damage reversal, which is a self buff. And he can do rush of strength, which uh, we can get the same buff through earth magic that we have, but it's nice to be able to use another path, another gem type for that. This turn, our nap ended, so We are attacking. We have been preparing for this. We want to attack in every front. This province he got during expansion. It will be great to clear it because then we can move from from our Tower of the Iron Order faster to the Throne of the Artificer. So I'm happy about this. Also, this will make like a line connecting our blood hunting provinces because we do have we're gonna summon vampires here. We're gonna blood hunt here, and there is a lot of battles. So let's see what we're bringing in each one. Here we got a small team, but I take like one mage of every path to have some buffs. So whenever I don't have enough troops, I support with elementals or other stuff. So this is the script. Let's see how it goes. There's a decent amount of PD here. Yeah, we were able to use small buffs to get our troops when we have few troops like that. The Draconians are gonna die, but can always get more of them. No problem. This is the result. Our chrome moved and changed shape. We lost only one Draconian. Nice. We are also attacking in two places from our Throne of the Artificer. We want this province to be safe. It's we're doing very cheap forging here. So here at the Crack Earth, let's see what we're bringing. These are just the mercenaries. Yeah, I think I expected. I wanted to focus more on this fort, in this side. So I put more of my good stuff here, but it's always nice to push ahead and raid. If you can't take their gear out, you can't take their gems out. If you give them gems, they don't give it back. Of course, you can change the troops. So I'm just using what they have and scripting something. Let's see how it goes. A lot of PD everywhere. Well, he does have a lot of money. We saw in the graphs. Wasn't this guy on cast Howl? Why is he moving ahead? Nice, Shadow Blast. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. I mean, you didn't obey the orders, but worked out. The Vadi with Misform were very cool. Lots of attack density. This is the result, completely clean. Our 78 mercs destroyed 121 PD. We are doing an attack here at the Haunted Woods from the Throne of the Artificer, although I am bringing my Vampire Lord here. So he's probably going to want to join the battle at the castle later, but this is as far as he can go. Let's see what we're bringing. So yeah, here we have actual troops. We took these guys out of patrolling the Shade Beasts because they're good troops. We have some Nids and very decent mage support, anti magic, not turn one as I like, but that's okay. Um, army regeneration. So we're not casting every single buff in every single battle, but the most important ones we're trying to get. But ethereal spam, weapons of sharpness, not like wasting gems too. Just it's a smaller group, so I don't need to cast the army whites for those ones. Here doing mist form, for example, not using air gems. So this how the scripted, the shade beasts go right away and start using the reanimated bites. Nids on hold and attack rear, and Nidvilor are are on attack closest. They'll protect the mages in case anything flies in, and they'll cover any squares left over by the Nids on attack rear. This is the script. Let's see how it goes. Man, even more PD here. Yeah, the Shade Beast will keep them busy for a little bit while we'll finish casting our stuff here. And they reanimate the light infantry and militia they kill as soulless, so this will of course be no problem. Maybe they could have won that on their own. Because they start out a number and they grow their numbers with the souls. What are these archers doing here? Very brave. They're also attacking the fort here at Hinafit. It was good that, on the one hand, I been wanting to deal with Asphodel for the whole game. But then, of course, I get scared later when I'm not prepared and I see this big border. I see the number of troops they have. But it was favorable that we ended up fighting Machaka because our troops were already here from the Sceleria War. Um, so here at Hinafid, there's a castle, and we want to take it. Yeah, we have our Crow with a Sky Metal Matrix doing Rigor Mortis, Featherweight Army. If you really want to protect from Earthquake, you should put this first, but I'm taking the risk here. The Thunder Fan, Life After Death. Hopefully he can cast all that. I calculated the gems he needs properly. We're now making use of our gem items here. Same Earth script. Since we have more items now, some of our bear clan can improve themselves and become even more powerful on the off-script casting. Giant Strength Warriors, but Ethereal Spam with the Apprentices, Divine Channeling Fanaticism with our Prophet, who's also a Community Master. Steel Slice Warrior with some of the Iron Order. This guy doesn't need a Communion to cast Frostfang. He just needs 2 boosters. It's probably a mistake. He should, yeah, I should have given him the Sky Metal Matrix and later I changed for the water lens that generates water magic because you didn't need to have the Just Man's Cross. Or maybe I brought it in and change it later. Here's a script. We still have our trolls from the last war. We're bringing from different provinces, so we spread them out. Attack rear, attack rear, attack rear, attack rear, and then the ones in the back are on attack closest. Let's see how it goes. Now here where we bring more stuff, there's no PD. He'd probably just raise the PD where he didn't have forts. That's one option. I'm glad I committed enough in the raids. Yeah, a lot of people just raid like one commander or like one commander and 5 troops, and it definitely wouldn't have been enough. We always attrition ourselves a little bit in these situations. No, not here apparently. No casualties. And I don't think we spend any gems either. Cool. We are getting the lake that we were salty about them jumping in with their pretender once it was safe because Calum had this and I had this. So this lake, I think, is mine by right anyway. Um, we wanted the Draug to give fear to our armies, but they were undead that are amphibian and can go underwater here. So I'm using a little Bing Tug. He's probably on attack. Yeah, he's on attack. Yeah, he's pretty nice. We don't need to give him a lot of gear to make him into a Tug, and he has a lot of HP due to our global. So yeah, he's gonna help. And sometimes I bring mages like this that just have 2 scripts, but them just being there, they're gonna do good stuff. And if not, they can always summon, use Horde of Skeletons. I don't know what's gonna be in the lake, and I'm hoping he can help. And this guy's gonna do body ethereal on our 12 Drog. This is the script. Let's see how it goes. Our Shamblers are pretty strong, but glass cannons, Atlantean militia are very, very weak, so no problem at all. Here comes the Bane with the chill aura. They have a chill aura too, so I think what happens is the aura gets larger. We enslaved one. Yeah, I think this Bane Lord would be able to kill Lapa himself. Had there being more stuff here. Up here, reviewing the files, it seems like, well, we wanted to attack from both sides to make them feel completely overwhelmed. Um, because of the forts here are not adjacent, and there's some swamp and stuff, there's a river here, and we didn't really have the compositions we wanted. We decided to consolidate some stuff here, and maybe if they would try to raid, we would win it for sure. You can see that we're trying to spread our sacreds in our different armies, so if he wins one, he doesn't completely defeat us. Don't want to doom stack at this point. Uh, but then, in order to record the videos like I do, I look at this turn and then I look at the following turn, right? But when I looked at the following turn, I realized that I probably made a change that wasn't saved in the file that I have. I took some of my clan mages that are moving in and decided to raid with them up here. I I know he has a queen of elemental air. He's super ahead, so he has been like crafting um, the artifacts. He has been summoning elemental royalty. I think even Asphodel mentioned he's tried to summon elemental royalty, but they were taken. And I want to get that Queen of Air, and hopefully I can finally use my Pretender in battle to to fight her. So I'm hoping to catch her. I'm raiding. So there's gonna be, I think, one battle with the Pretender here and one battle with a group of Clan Mage raiders here. Let's see them in the Death March. Death March. I got a Pretender here, starting with Phoenix Spire and just PD. So this will be easy. So Vortex. You can cast so much with all these paths. Shroud of Splendor. Awe 2 now. Yeah, protection 24 is not enough to tank a whole army. Astro Shield. Fire Shield. Now when he gets all his buffs, the stuff barely fits here and the numbers start going to the paths. It gets hard to see. Now the good thing about innate spellcasters, well, you can read here, but the bad thing is that when they're off script, they don't really follow the rules of the spellcasting mod, and I don't think you can change the mod to make that happen. So off script they'll cast a lot of bad stuff. But once they do all the bad self buffs that they want to do, they'll start at least doing good evocations. So he has so much stuff that he can buff that he just doesn't stop buffing. Now, finally, now something useful. Oh yeah, battle for you. That'll help you a lot, buddy. He's just trolling me. Look at his face. Shroud of Bewilderment. Don't even remember what that does. Can't even find it here. Oh, this is a nice one. Dance of Ephemeral Swords. Ephemeral Swords. He already had resists for some types of damage, so a few of these are useless. Horrible Visages. Dread. Yeah, Dread. Or just... Yeah, now he lost invisibility, he casts invisibility again. Terror is okay, but just send one big evocation. You're gonna kill them all. Oh, thank you. He listened to me. The archers are out of ammo. They got freaked out in any case. Okay, that's it. Astro Shield worked. The commander was brave there for a second, but thought better of it. And we have our raid here in Chiliad. Let's see what we brought. We brought this Wolf Clan's doing Water Elemental. Then we have some Bear Clan. And then we have a couple of apprentices here with some gems that will enable them to cast higher path magic. Some unearth power on the Bear Clan. And then some unearth elemental. And they have boots to get the big ones. Yeah, that should be enough for PD. So at Chiliad, we brought 7 clan mages, and they took out this PD. On that march, there was Fear PD, and we didn't catch the Queen of Elemental Air as we wanted. Turn 72. So we got a very good start in our war against Machaka. And we raided here, raided here. We put this fort under siege. Let's see, the walls are critically damaged, so just one more turn probably, even considering we're bringing more. Um, Here I was expecting him to raid or attack. He didn't, so now we're moving Pythium. Now remember that we lost our entire stack here when Pythium did a very good cap defense. Um, so we do have some claim on that too, regardless of the war, and we're finally gonna get it. And we raided the Death March with our Pretender, where he's now building a lab so he can go away because he's immobile, of course. We got our mages here. This is very brave. I think I'm being a little bit reckless here, building a temple, like way, way in front of his stuff, right? Maybe I should have waited to check if I'm gonna keep it, or at least put this fort under siege. But it was a very good start, and now we have to see how he will respond. We have finally got our lake, and now I have to decide if I'm one option is getting this throne. That would be nice. It would stop him from a throne rush, which he said he's preparing anyway. But it's 7 thrones, so it's not likely. I think. Also, I have less stuff here, and there's a lot to go through, man. Look at the size. The Queen of Thunder is here, but there is another. He has a lot of elemental royalty. So I decide I will push here. I will take Pythium. That will increase our income a lot. But the capital is not far. It's right here. And we see some of their scary spiders here. Um, we decide that we want to take this fort, and take the capital if we can, because when you're losing war, it's very demoralizing. And well, I know this, of course, for being in the losing position myself. Uh, that sometimes it looks that you're completely demoralizing and you're not fighting back, but what's actually happening is that you had so many options you can do. Like, of course, I'm here recruiting nids every turn, getting my good mages, and now you can't do that anymore. So once you put them in a position, they're playing a losing position, and I want to put them in a losing position right away as fast as possible. Let's take a look at their blast to see what we're gonna face fighting those spiders. So Hawk Tarantula, blessing known, has a tech skill. This is from the Throne of Fire, regeneration, and they have a lot of HP, and Berserker, so they're not gonna rout. Yeah, it looks like it will be tough. Now we can review our construction. We have been upgrading our forts. We got a new one here uh, to get more income and protect from Asphodel, which we'll probably fight eventually if we don't lose this right away. We now have labs and temples in every province. We're even templing the lakes. Here we don't have a lab, but we can't recruit a mage anyway. So whenever we don't want troops, we can do our foreign recruit. But now we want troops because we want to put all of these castles under siege. And he built a lot, so we're gonna win a lot of battles and do a lot of siege shaft to take all this. We have three blood hunting operations now. We have here. We have started one here. We spread out some our blood random crows among them, so we can always keep the unrest at 0. We have our empowered blood mage here, so we'll start blood hunting soon. But right now he's probably going to spend a lot of turns foraging because he's the only one with the cross paths to do it, except the pretender. No, the pretender doesn't have blood. So blood should be going well. Looking at site searching, as you can see, just glamour and fire, but we're using our flame spirits to catch up. We're using our gnomes and our blue cap to catch up on these paths. We probably already site searched almost all of Sceleria. Yeah, it's just missing a few paths here and there. And we can look at the graphs due to our mundane graph site. So now we're almost catching up to Asphodel provinces because our attacks and our raids were successful. We passed Machaka. Of course, everything we took was at their expense. We are lowering their number of forts and catching up. And Shinoyama is doing nice too. So I said that in our defensive pact here with Kalum and Shinoyama, we are stronger, but they're not far behind. You can see in income too. And of course, we're raising our income a lot. This is going to continue to change as we got the Pythium cap. We get the Pythium cap, hopefully. And of course, our site searching pays off big time in gems. Now that we started getting vampires, we can start scaling in blood actually, and not just waiting on rare randoms. You can see in this graph that we fight a war and we use our mages, we recruit troops, it grows linearly. We are not fighting a war, we stop recruiting troops, we use our foreign recruit, and it grows exponentially a little bit. And then the same thing happened again, and then the same thing happened again, and then we stop recruiting mages, and it goes back to linear. And we're behind, but we're catching up. Dominion's going great. Let's see how many temples we have now. Now we have 40 temples. Now this is the max of holy points, I think. Or is Dominion strength? I don't remember. We can also remind ourselves of our bless. We have fire resistance. This will be nice against Machaka because they are a fire nation. Undying plus 10, righteous wrath, spirit sight, affliction resistance 3. And also remember that the Undying, coupled with our global, makes it so this guy that if you press tab, you can see how many scar souls they have. This guy has 6 lives basically, so it's 6 times 30 if you're gonna kill him by reducing his hit points. But that is dependent on us having Dominion. See, for example, here he's only 15. Here, do we have? Here he's 16 because we have one candle. So we're taking advantage of our gift of health global. We're probably getting some horror marks due to the, yeah, here's one. Due to stellar focus, but we have our Wight pattern labyrinth here with 10 months left. And in a session points, we still only have one throne, but Machaka has 3, and we're hoping to catch up. And we did end up, when we do our firm recruit, we end up moving the cheaper mages here to take advantage of the 5 magic. So I didn't craft any research boosters, but for example, this guy who was originally a bad researcher, now with the magic and the school mentor we got from our enemies, he's at research 26. This is a good place to stop. We will see how Machaka responds, how our war goes. I don't want the videos to be too long. The last one was a movie, and but it was nice that we were able to conclude the narrative with our war with Sceleria. But this will be a much longer war. Um, you can see they were pushing out towards Calum here, hoping to get these 2 thrones that are close by. And we're gonna have a lot to do here, so we cannot do that in one episode. Thanks for joining me. See you next time. Oh, before I go, I think we can look at research. Yeah, we're getting construction 9, and then wish we got all 8s. Conjuration 8 is gonna allow us to summon better mages. And we have our arcane nexus that we're saving up for. No, not really. We keep crafting stuff. But at least the gem generators, the temporary gem generators we craft, we're probably saving money for the future. I hope. But we have to remember that we're very behind on research. But this is good. This is enough to win the war, I think, even if he is ahead. Okay, now bye for real.